All right, our next guest is a educator. She is resilient. She is a founder of Liv Vibrantly, a self-care initiative for women. Am I correct with that?
Yes,
okay.
That's right. That's right.
So she started this a few years ago, and now she has grown and expanded abundantly. So this welcome Miss Lavonne Weaver. How are you today?
I am blessed and I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much.
Yes, it's been long overdue to get you on here. So I know you did wonderful work. I saw you from the ground up, how we was doing this, and now it's taking off, and now it's been a blessing to so many people that you touched.
Yes.
So I want to ask you first, before we get into how Liv Vibrantly developed from you.
Okay.
Who was Lavonne Weaver growing up?
Who was I growing up? That's a funny question. I say sometimes I'm still the same person that I was then. Quiet child, loved learning, loved reading, very, very creative. And I always wanted to solve problems. And I'm still that same person today. And I tell people that I used to play in paper when I was a kid, and I still do it now. So I'm still, the things that God allowed me to do when I was a child, I get to do them as an adult.
Okay, so you grew up in St. Louis, right?
Yes.
Missouri. What was that like growing up there and then moving here? What was that experience like growing up in St. Louis and then you decided to move here?
Growing up in St. Louis was really a beautiful experience, but St. Louis is, I'll say it's the Midwest. So
right.
It's a lot of different things, and being a creative, I always wanted to just do different things. I love St. Louis because all my family is still there. So that's where I was born and raised. And I moved to Philadelphia when I was around 20 years old. I came here for school, and I just absolutely loved it and didn't want to go home because I was excited about all the arts and all the creative things that I can do. So this has been my home since I was 21 now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So all your family is still in St. Louis right now?
The majority of my family is in St. Louis. We have branched out to other places like Atlanta. Some of us are in the Texas area, but everyone is still there. In fact, before I came over, we were having our family Zoom meeting. So because of COVID, we really haven't seen each other. So we do a Zoom meeting at the end of the month. So I was actually just on with my whole family.
Wow.
Yes.
Everyone's doing well. Everyone's healthy.
Everyone is doing well. Everyone is healthy. And it's just a blessing to see everyone. So I'm looking forward to, in the spring, heading back to the Midwest.
Wonderful. So what made you, so I said in the intro that you were an educator. What made you get into education?
Education is a funny story. So I did not study education. Now my family, long history of teachers and preachers. And my mom was a teacher, my grandma, we are all educators. And one thing I said is that I would never teach. But it's interesting. So I studied fashion merchandising and marketing at College of Textiles and Science here in Philadelphia. And when I got into retail, I discovered it just wasn't what I wanted to do. So what I did was I quit my job and I went to help at a school. And when I helped there, and I was like, I'm not getting stuck, I'm just volunteering. Well,
right.
25 years later, I'm still, and it was interesting because I would always kind of say, Lord, this isn't really what I wanted to do. You can let me out this assignment. And the answer would be no. Go back in there. And when I would go in there, the kids would be so excited. I'm like, why these kids following me around? I'm not a teacher. And it's one of those things that, at the journey that I was on, that's where he led me to education. So I have been teaching for over 25 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it wasn't your calling. So it wasn't your.
I didn't think it was.
I
didn't think
it was.
Your calling
at first, but now it is.
I have been, directed. And that challenge was for me because as someone who studied art and creativity, I kept saying, well, how is all this going to fit? And now I see how everything works together.
Right, because you say you was always a creator. So in the midst of your teaching career, you should teaching and educating young people, you started on another journey called Liv Vibrantly. So, can you tell our audience how that started and what made you start it?
Live vibrantly, I always tell people it started on my worst day. And what I thought was my worst day. So, what I had experienced at that time was just the ending of a relationship. And as I sat down to kind of cry about this relationship, I was really given directions from God saying, this thing is done, but I have something new for you to do. And just to speed it up, there was this box sitting in my basement, and the message kept saying, go get the box. And I kept saying, why do I need to get that box? Well, when I went down to finally get the box, when I opened it up, it was full of art supplies. It was everything I needed to start a business that had really been sitting down there for almost 5 years. And so as I started to just kind of get into my quiet time, God was having me write out the messages that kind of broke my heart, and he said, we're going to turn those around to affirmations that you're going to share with other women. And I guess when I wanted to have a moment of pity, he really wouldn't let me stay in that place. He said, look, you're going to write those messages down. We're going to turn them around to affirmations. And that's really when I started. So I started writing affirmations, writing messages of encouragement for women. And that's really where the journey started for me.
So how long have you been doing it now?
Live Vibrantly. This is the 5th year, okay. But I've been creating all my life.
Right. Yes. So you had your art supplies down there 5 years, and it took God to tell you after you ended the relationship to go get those boxes, and now you're creative. And how has Live Vibrantly impacted your life?
It has just been, for one, I really see how something that started out as a challenge, because I used to call it my worst day, and how something that I thought was the worst day could turn into a work of art. And the biggest way that it has impacted my life, it shows me that nothing is impossible. That even something that looks so bad as a breakup and someone calling you names that were not nice, that you could turn that around, not only for it to be a message, but also to offer hope to others. So that's really the way that it's really impacted my life. And it showed me that my journey is not over. And that God can weave anything together, because along with the teaching, he showed me how this is the art gift that I've given you, that I've been sitting on for years and not using. So he showed me how I can weave all that in, and also to help others.
What was probably your best moment as an entrepreneur of Live Vibrantly in the past 5 years?
Ooh, my best moment. Oh gosh, I've had so many of them, but one of my favorites is getting to work with a group of kids and just really helping them create their own affirmations and boxes. And sometimes with youth, you're never sure if they're going to say, that's corny, we don't want to do that. And it took me a while to get them to buy in. But when I just saw all the young girls sitting over there making their affirmations, making their boxes, and then some would text me and say, I got my box, and they would send me a picture of their box. And what was incredible for me is that I had the young ladies make their own messages, so I didn't write them. I said, put any message in there that when you open it up, it's going to put a big smile on your face. And that is really one of the things that says, this is the right thing, because I just love, they were young kids. They were around 10 years old. Yeah.
And get a sense of what the power of affirmation means to so many people now compared, you said 5 years ago. Like now, mental health has always been at the forefront, but in the past 5 years, it has taken a big role in some people's lives, and also more affirmations now, speaking life over yourself. Sometimes we are our own biggest critics, our own biggest downfall, because we speak doubt, worry, fear, and all that stuff. But with affirmation, speaking hope into yourself is about how the mindset.
Absolutely.
And I want to thank you for that, because you were the forefront of starting this stuff, starting affirmations, and now from you, going our workshops, the greatest is create affirmations. So then I know it's hard for you to come, to the school do a workshop, but one of the ideas on top is affirmations, having kids speak life for themselves. Because when I was your about 10, 11, I didn't even think about that. I was thinking about going next grade, what school to go to. I didn't think about how to speak life to myself, and now that's so pivotal, because so many kids look so defeated, so sad, and feel that they had no hope, get out of the situation, get out of the neighborhood. But now, with affirmation, it's so important that they can speak life to themselves now, even though they may not see it, but they have to envision it for themselves, and on their worst day, knowing that you still are okay. It's not it's not in the whole world. It's not like you can rebound and pick yourself back up and going. So my next question is for Liv Vibrantly is, what's next for it? Where do you see it going?
For Liv Vibrantly, I'm really this year being more intentional about doing more teaching. And as you said, we have the affirmations, we speak life, but it's really creating those spaces where women can be more intentional and have safe spaces to write their affirmations, a safe place to journal. And I've been doing workshops and sister circles, just really giving women a space where they can talk and be themselves without worrying about any judgment. And there's always power in a self-care community. I always say our journey is individual, but it is not isolated. So that's really where I'm going, just really getting women to connect, to join, and to make self-care normal. Not something we need to do on the weekends, because as an educator, we save all of our self-care to the weekends after school. And I'll say, what do you do in the moment when there's a lockdown? We can't get to the spa. You're right in that moment. How do you take care of yourself? So really making that conversation normal. Normalize that it's not something that we have to worry about money and time, that we know we are worthy.
Right, amen. So that's what I think I try to say. My wife, I try to take a chance to take a nap every day.
Yes.
And also, I'm learning how to pray more, and also go in my car at night, sit in silence for 10 minutes, and not say hear nothing. Just be in silence for 10 minutes. That's self-care, because that's a teacher can do. The teacher can get in the car. I know they deal with traffic. But just get in the car for 10 minutes and just not turn it off and on, turn your phone, put your phone aside, just think about the whole day. And then once you get home, you have a better perspective. Okay, I'll meditate for 10 minutes, I'll scribe for 10 minutes. Right. I can do these papers or what I gotta do for the next day. So that's something or even in your classroom, have the kids meditate for 5 minutes.
You got it.
5 minutes or 2 minutes. Have them be in silence. No sound. Listen, maybe have some meditation music in the background. That can help. You know what I mean? So a lot of times we go like this, and we don't have time to reflect. And I think that's so important. That's to be more intentional and more intentional about what we're doing, and just how we can be better for ourselves, so we be more better for people that care about us and support us. So you do a lot. I know probably being creative is part of your self-care. So what else is part of your self-care besides creating and things like that?
So as far as for myself,
yes.
For me, it is, you just hit on it. You talked about that quiet time. That quiet time is big for me. Just creating spaces to have quiet time. And with me, and the same thing I encourage people to do, I do it all throughout my day. I do. I just grab a moment. Let me go take a breath. You know, that's part of my self-care and my self-talk every day. It is. I write a phrase in the morning, and I taught it to my students, and I said, pretend like it's your best friend and it's stalking you and it's going everywhere you go. So that phrase is, I can do all things, and I take it with me, and I intentionally throughout the day pause, let me read my statement, and I do that. And those are the things that really, really keep me going. And rest is part of my self-care as far as getting things like movement in and staying hydrated. But I try to incorporate those things every day. So I don't try to wait to the weekends, because you take yourself with you everywhere you go. So look, you can take care of yourself in any place that you are.
Right, that's right. You got to take yourself everywhere you go.
That's right.
Yeah, so about Liv Vibrantly, I have a couple more questions. What products you have on Liv Vibrantly right now people can get, or what are some products you think about creating for this year or within the next 2 years?
Okay, so what I have for Liv Vibrantly now, I'm really excited. So I did a beautiful collection of journals. I'm big on journaling, and I know sometimes for ladies that can be challenging, but I want to take kind of the complicated piece out of journaling, that even if you write a sentence or if you use pictures, that's journaling. So I created a whole series of journals that I do for ladies. And another thing is I created that I really love, they're called note to self cards. Because during the pandemic, I worked from home for 2 years, and I would write all these notes on sticky things, but they would end up stuck all over the place. So I created some note cards that ladies can write and put in their environment, and just to keep themselves encouraged. So I have journals, I have note cards. I have a lot of wonderful workshops where it's hands-on. I teach ladies how to journal, how to breathe, how to write affirmations. And these are, I call them little studio sessions, where we get together and we have that moment. And the most important part about those sessions is that I give the ladies something they can use. Give them a tool that they can practice, and then they can check in with me and let me know how it's going. And next steps for me, I am really hoping and praying just for partnerships and ways that I can connect with teachers, and starting to get these resources in the hands of teachers, even if it's just a teacher gift bag. That's where I'm going.
Yeah, and I definitely interested in partnering with you with Path to Greatness, because we are doing Work Ready this summer, and we are trying to do something where one of the things we wanted to do was start a young ladies group. One of the schools we was at. We were trying part of it, but it fell through because they couldn't find the time to put us that. So we definitely will welcome your resources. I know you hard to come to the site, to the school, but we would definitely welcome your resources. And so we can help the young ladies this summer, and hopefully, because we was at high school last year, with K Kappa and Congress, Edison. So hopefully we can do something, where we can have you come down there for the summer and do something for the girls, maybe twice through the summer. You know what I mean? So so where you get compensated for that, and also be part of helping the young ladies and also helping the young men. So, because I definitely want to do isolation, because being together is great, but having talk about things that will distract, help each other heal. I think that's so important. So we will definitely try to collaborate on that this year, because you'll be doing the work, and I'm big on affirmations. I'm big on journaling now. I've been trying this year, real intentional about that power, peace, and just trying to be better for myself, and just growing, just have time to breathe and just reflect on how good life has been. A lot of times we dwell on negative so much, and we don't even think about what you accomplished. I did this. We kind of like put it on the side. I did that, but we don't even think about how accomplished we've done so many things, and just be grateful for those things, and how to just grow and become better individuals.
Yeah, we forget to celebrate.
Yes.
And that's on Friday. I say Feel Good Friday. Finding those things, those places to celebrate. Because something went well. Find that one thing. And I think I worked with your students for making something called a victory jar.
Yes.
And we made victory jars. And I had the kids put something in so that they can count their wins. Yeah, that celebration piece is big in self-care. It is.
Wonderful, wonderful. And, now you talk about I'm gonna bring that back from my side. You know what I mean? Maybe it could be a shoebox. You know what I mean? Hey, what's you?
Whatever. Yeah. We have to learn to celebrate our victories.
Yes.
Yes.
So, well, two more questions.
No problem.
What advice would you say to the younger Lavonne Weaver?
The younger Lavonne Weaver, gosh. You know what? To believe that she is enough. That I think when I was younger, I think I didn't trust what I had was good. And it's interesting that at age 55, that I was gluing, I always tell people the story how I made my mother her first checkbook cover by gluing it together with construction paper. And I say, at 55, I'm still gluing paper, but I'm not getting a spanking for it. But just to trust that what is within me is good, and that whatever gifts that are in me, they're mine, and they're meant to share with the world.
Amen. And where people can find more information about you, Liv Vibrantly, and any sales going on, any special things going on, you know, and are you doing anything for Valentine's Day in terms of promotion, things like that? So
okay, so what I have going on right now is I'm doing something new. So I'm stepping out. So for February, I'm doing something called a BYOB, but it's called Build Your Own Box.
Okay.
It's not what you think, I know, but it's Build Your Own Box, and it's something new I'm trying, but it's a sister circle, and it's a way to invite ladies in. So I'm teaching them how to create a self-care box. So I'm sending the materials, but the best part of it is I want them to include those practices that are good for them. So each lady get to make their own personalized self-care box, and I'll be guiding them through that experience. And my hope and my goal is that they will use this box and make it a part of their everyday life. So what I have some beautiful, I created a self-care puzzle for ladies, so that will be available in February. So really, it's really, in February, I'm going to be doing more teaching. So you can look forward to me seeing more opportunities to have quiet journal spaces. And I really, really do want ladies to come into these spaces. It's a few quiet minutes where we're going to breathe. We're going to do our affirmations. And we're going to walk away with a tool or something that we can use to nourish and nurture ourselves for a week. Because I'm a teacher at my core, and I don't want to give ladies a list of things to do. I want them to use those things, and I want to hopefully be a teacher and be a part of that.
Wonderful. So go to the website is livvibrantly.com, and when people, it's on the website, when people
it's on the website.
They can sign up for that.
You'll find it. And it's also on Instagram. So if you follow me on Instagram or on Facebook, and it's Liv without an E. So Liv Vibrantly. And if you click my link tree, you'll find the workshops there. You'll even find a free journal I did called Create a Beautiful Day. It's a 20-page free journal that ladies can use, and it has tips for them to create space for self-care every day.
Wonderful. Lavonne Weaver, thank you so much for being part of the show. Thank you for doing what you're doing. Thank you for promoting self-care for women and also for men, young men as well. You know, so thank you for creating those spaces for journaling, for creating ideas to where we can self-care better for ourselves. So thank you so much. Hopefully we can have you back on the show with more self-care tips and advice. You know, maybe we can do on the show once a week. Hey, so what's a self-care tip, something like that for the week, something like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so help us get for that week. So thank you so much. For those who are watching, thank you so much. Hope you join us next Saturday for another great show. We have 2 great guests to kick off February. Hope take care of yourself. take time to think, take time to be thankful, be grateful for what God's done in your life as you about to close the month of January, and be happy and count all joy. Have a good rest of the Saturday and be safe.
Thank you.